Welcome back to New Rockstars. This is The Big Question, the show that gives you too much information about how, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Chinese Communist Party wields a frightening amount of power, but is completely powerless when it comes to Mephisto. I'm Erik Voss. Here with me is MasterTainment from YouTube, aka MT, one of the smartest, coolest Marvel nerds I have found on this platform.
Wow, that was high praise. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, it's me, MT, back to say random things into your ear holes, not eye holes, and your eye holes. The eye holes is for this disturbing image in front of you. I'm sorry.
Well, you can yell into their eye holes too.
That's what I
as long as you're just like
on my YouTube channel, I'm just yelling at people's faces. Find a hole.
Find that hole. We are already off the rails. I love it. MT, we've been dying to get you on Big Question because you have the kind of brain who sees the devil in the details the way we do, of like seeing how things are probably going to go. But also, you've been debunked before. We've been debunked before. We've both been forced to eat that humble pie slice. It doesn't feel good, but
it's not
you're
delicious.
Stronger on the other side of it.
It's not delicious, but hey, it gives me the energy to move on. That's how pie goes.
You guys got to check out MT's videos. He's done, he really, in my opinion, started this whole hunt for the Guardians of the Galaxy Easter egg that James Gunn hid in there. You were the guy, I think, to kind of break the code or start to realize that there is a code in the coordinates of each location, and you have made a whole bunch of great videos. Unfortunately, James Gunn, I think for most of them, has said like close, but no cigar.
Yeah, it's been so weird because like I've sort of been known as the guy who's like constantly failing, and like it's just like, oh, it's so weird how like I'm getting all this attention for being the guy who was always wrong.
You lose,
but I'll take it. It's great.
No,
but I mean, eventually I'll get that egg.
You won.
It's gonna be great, Erik.
It'll be you, and it'll taste so good when you find it.
Exactly.
It'll be, rather than a slice of humble pie, it'll be a slice of quiche.
Exactly.
And it'll go down so smooth.
A slice of quiche. That should be the name of my memoir. Slice of quiche with MT. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway.
Well, I may be facing my own, eating crow here at New Rockstars because I've been going hard on Mephisto showing up in WandaVision. I might be totally wrong about it. But, as we've been going through these episodes, Mephisto does come up as a possible villain. There's some clues for him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
By the way, Mephisto, Marvel's devil figure. And by the time you're watching this episode of Big Question, who knows? Mephisto may be debunked as the big bad, maybe confirmed as the big bad, maybe left as a mystery for a future Marvel installment that will, allow me to punt and claim mixed victory for now. But weirdly, whatever the outcome, anytime we bring up Mephisto as just showing up in the MCU at all, one follow-up question keeps popping up, and we want to address it in this episode.
Can Mephisto be in the MCU if China doesn't allow demons to be in movies in their country? That is a good question.
Yes. Short answer. We want to start doing these, so if you want to skip the video, you can. Short answer, yes. Whether or not Mephisto is the villain of WandaVision, Mephisto can totally exist in the MCU. Arguably, Mephisto already does exist in the MCU, that he has for years, and China, while extremely important to Marvel's future, has actually very little impact on Mephisto's existence on Disney Plus at all. And in this episode, MT and I will debunk that myth.
Yeah, we are masters of being debunked, so we gonna do some debunking for once. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna debunk it. Oh, we're gonna debunk you.
I'll take the top debunk. You can take the lower debunk, and we'll switch off night by night.
I'm a good bottom, so that's good.
You took it there, MT. I wasn't going there. You
Sex
took
jokes.
it there.
They're the best. Sorry, demonetized. Okay, we won't talk about it. All right. What is sex?
This video, now wouldn't be available in China because China does have some rules about what stuff can be on the internet and on TV screens there. Let's talk about China here.
China.
So why China? Why is China such a big deal? Well, China's got a lot of people. It's a ton of people.
At least seven of them.
Yeah, at least seven. I've counted seven. I've been told there are more.
7 or more people in China.
Over 1 billion people there. Yeah. And more importantly than that, they have an extremely lucrative film market. Disney has spent the past several years trying to get a foothold in that market. You may have actually heard how Iron Man 3 was re-edited for Chinese audiences with an extra scene about how Chinese doctors saved Iron Man's life.
Right.
Or there were some theories that maybe the first Doctor Strange movie, the Ancient One, in the comics is a Tibetan character, but they changed it to Tilda Swinton, and they said that the character had a Celtic origin, so that maybe they wouldn't have to mention Tibet, which is a sensitive topic with China.
Yeah. I remember when that was first popping off, when Tilda Swinton got cast, and people were just like, "What? This is an outrage! It's not a Tibetan person." And I was just like, "Well, it's China. There's not really much that they can do."
Yeah, there's some stuff going on there. Yeah. We'll go more into it. Essentially, China's media is controlled by the Chinese Communist Party. All Western films must be approved by what's called the Chinese Film Association. It's a board within the executive branch of the party. They have a quota of 34 non-Chinese films per year that are allowed to be distributed in mainland China. They have relaxed this quota in certain recent years. I think a couple years ago, they allowed 42 films in there. But not every American Hollywood film gets to get distributed. Usually it's just like the big ones that they think will make the most money. And then China gets like a cut of it, a cut of the box office, of course. Yeah. So that's kind of the deal that they have. Now, controversially, this board follows a series of censorship guidelines. Okay. They were revised most recently in 2017. And you can go on, anywhere online and find these, but they include some prohibitions against types of plot points in film elements, like depiction of the Chinese government in a negative light. That was an issue with The Dark Knight. Warner Brothers did not submit The Dark Knight to approval for the Chinese Film Board because the character Lao, who was like a corrupt Chinese official who would not be extradited due to corruption within the Chinese government. So that movie did not show in China.
Wow, I had no clue that even was a problem. Yeah. That's crazy. I remember that scene too. Wow.
They don't want the idea of an American billionaire swooping into Hong Kong to kidnap one of them because the Chinese government wouldn't have the guts to extradite them. You can imagine that.
A little fight in you. I like that. And you're going to love me.
I mean, the Chinese Air Force would clearly be all over that. Be like, "Oh, bat in the sky, shoot him down." So obviously, that would never happen.
Another guideline that they aren't cool with are anything that is seen as sympathetic towards Tibet or political factions that the Chinese government has historically cracked down on. So you don't really see a lot of stories about the Tiananmen Square conflict show up on there. We're not going to see a lot of movies about the conflicts with the Hong Kong activists with Taiwan. So Tibet, it's a sensitive thing. The Chinese government doesn't acknowledge Tibet's existence. Tibet has wanted independence. And it's an ugly situation, but
messy. Global politics, hooray! It's the best.
MT and I are not saying that it is okay that China does this. Honestly, it kind of sucks that they don't allow these things, that they don't have a fully free society that allows them to just put anything, even critical of their own government. It sucks that all these audiences in China are missing out on these great stories that allows them to look at the world differently. But that is just the reality right now, and until the political situation changes, that is kind of the reality that these studios have to deal with, and that kind of what sets their parameters for movies they want to air in China.
And to be honest, I'm a big fan of Winnie the Pooh as just a franchise. He's my favorite Disney character, and so China is not very happy with my very innocent bear friend. And I take deep offense to that. But
MT, explain the Winnie the Pooh thing for everybody. Why is Winnie the Pooh such a sore subject for China?
Here's how this whole thing goes down. So Xi Jinping, the current leader of China, has the audacity to look like my boy Winnie the Pooh just by genetics. His face looks like Winnie the Pooh. Look at it. Look at it. You see it? That is straight up Winnie the Pooh. And so people have memed this man to death. And so instead of taking the memes like a man, he's just like, you know what? Winnie the Pooh banned in all of China. And so, you know what? I don't like that shit. Sorry, Xi.
It's believed that Christopher Robin, the 2018 movie, was banned in China because it has Winnie the Pooh in it, even though the movie has nothing to do with China.
I'm sorry, China.
They'll never admit
Great
that.
movie.
They don't admit it at all. It might have just been, oh, it wasn't one of the top 34. This was probably Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yeah, I'm so sorry, China. Winnie the Pooh's my favorite. He's the best. Honey, diabetes, delicious.
One of the other guidelines is what they call overly graphic sexual content depictions of pretty much anything sexual, anything that's like R-rated sexual, definitely X-rated sexual, but also that's like a pretty big umbrella restriction. They also don't allow any mentions of incest or anything like that, and they also don't allow anything about like homosexuality, which sucks.
Boo!
Like they're kind of one of these things that
Boo!
just denies its existence. You know,
that's whack.
it's
Winnie the Pooh and the gays are number one. I hope you know this, all right? Sorry, I'm just very passionate about Winnie the Pooh and the LGBTQ community.
We all are. Now, here is the critical guideline for what we're talking about. There's one that says any content that advocates cults or superstitions is not okay. And then that has been kind of interpreted as feudalistic ideology, which is pseudoscience, spirit possession, reincarnation, witchcraft, etc., or showcasing excessive horror. This superstition clause has been called by critics, American media, other Western media as the Chinese no ghost rule. So what is this rule? How has it been applied? Okay, so MT, this no ghost rule. In 2015, The Hollywood Reporter published an article claiming that this rule doomed Guillermo del Toro's horror film Crimson Peak because it was unable to get approval for Chinese distribution. And the film dealt with a whole bunch of ghosts. And really, that's where I was able to trace back this idea. It really is a myth that any American movie with ghosts in it will just immediately get censored by a Chinese film board. There have been a lot of movies that do this, but you can make the argument that they deal with a lot of other themes, because a lot of horror films will also deal with sexual violence, will deal with all kinds of stuff. Because 2 months after that Hollywood Reporter article came out, Chinese artist Ao Wen-jin wrote for the BBC saying that they grew up watching all kinds of super violent supernatural horror films in China, and that Crimson Peak censoring could have just been as likely the result of it featuring incest. Or more likely, it just wasn't a big enough movie to make the top 34.
Wait, there's incest in Crimson Peak?
Crimson Peak, it came and went, you know? I think it was just American media saying, oh, look at China. They're doing their whole censoring again. Yeah, China censors a lot, but you can't just hide behind that shield. Sometimes your movie's just not big enough to make it over there. And really, it's like kind of any government agency. Sometimes you're going to have someone in there who's going to be real strict about it. Sometimes they're going to be more lenient. And sometimes you are able to slip it through the censors by adding stuff to it. And, you know, American studios deal with this all the time. It's a push and a pull. Like Disney, you know, they made this live action Mulan, and the whole movie is clearly just catered towards Chinese audiences. But what I love about it is a lot of Chinese people who saw it are like, yeah, no, that's not Mulan either. Got it wrong again.
It's like, you guys really can't do this. You guys are not really good at making Mulan. Maybe if you just let us do it, maybe we could just do it for you.
Yeah, why don't you just let a Chinese director and a Chinese screenwriter handle it? That'd be great.
I mean, that's just out of the question. I mean, why would they do this? It's too much logic.
We have talked about, on this channel, I've speculated in a past video, the reason why Scott Derrickson left Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. MT, you remember, Comic-Con 2019, Kevin Feige brings Derrickson out. He says, and Derrickson's like, this sequel is going to be the MCU's first horror film. And all of us lost our shit.
Everyone went crazy. We were like, yo, Marvel about to do it? Is Marvel really about to scare our pants off of our bodies?
They're doing it in WandaVision now. WandaVision's like the scariest MCU thing I've watched.
He's pretty creepy.
But then, 2 months after Comic-Con 2019, Disney strikes its deal with Sony for 2 more Spider-Man movies in the MCU. And around that time, Derrickson began to tweet and like other tweets, signaling some frustration with the studio system. A new screenwriter was announced, and then Feige, in December 2019, started to backpedal from describing this movie as a pure horror film. And then in January 2020, Derrickson was out, and then he was replaced shortly thereafter by Sam Raimi, past Spider-Man director. And then months after that, Doctor Strange was confirmed to be in Spider-Man 3. So looking back on this, one theory that we had was that Scott Derrickson is a horror director who loves like demonic horror, apocalyptic horror, weird Lovecraftian horror. He had kind of indicated that maybe the title Multiverse of Madness could have been influenced by titles like At the Mountains of Madness and The Mouth of Madness, and that we believed maybe he wanted Mephisto to be his villain or someone like Mephisto, hell demons, but that maybe Marvel objected because, China won't like it, and, but really at the end of the day, they probably just preferred a Spider-Man team up. It's Derrickson's like, I don't want to do a Spider-Man team up. And then they're like, fine, we'll get Raimi in there and he'll make our Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, they whenever directors get kicked off of a film, they always say creative differences, but I honestly feel like in this scenario, it's honestly just creative differences. Marvel just wanted to make this a Spider-Man type, multiverse type deal. Like the plan changed, and so Scott Derrickson wasn't exactly the right fit for Marvel, so they got somebody else, which sucks because I love Scott. Scott's great. I love Scott Derrickson. His work on Doctor Strange 1 is phenomenal. I love Doctor Strange 1. Yeah. And I'm gonna miss Scott, but hopefully they'll give Scott something else. Hopefully he'll be less pissed off at Disney for what they did, and they'll just hey, Scott, here's I say give Scott Sleepwalker. Honestly, I love Sleepwalker.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Scott would kick ass with Sleepwalker, but that's just me.
And I think we have to recognize that WandaVision is in a very different boat than Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness because it is a streaming title on Disney Plus. It's not a global film release. And this is a very big distinction because Marvel's major film titles carry a much heavier burden to appeal to all international markets, whereas its Disney Plus streaming series can be way more narrowly tailored. They can be quirkier. They can be bolder creatively. It's a simple truth. Disney Plus does not exist in China. It doesn't exist there. No person in China is able to log into Disney Plus.
That sucks.
It does. They're missing out. They actually announced, Disney Plus did last December, that they plan to launch in South Korea and Hong Kong by the end of 2021. Now, Hong Kong is part of China, but it has an interesting political boundary there that is the cause of a lot of political protests that are happening. But Hong Kong, since it was part of the British Empire for years and years and years and years, has kind of a different Western openness to the rest of the world than mainland China does. So there has not been an announced release date in mainland China at all. Many people believe it could be years because no other American streaming service exists in China. Netflix is not there. Hulu's not there. Google, YouTube is not in China. So Disney Plus probably will not exist in China till at the earliest 2022.
Wait, so you're telling me that the people of China have not witnessed the cuteness of Grogu yet? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Eric,
they might have Grogu toys.
Eric, we gotta pour one out, man. We gotta pour one out.
Yeah.
That's sad.
For the 2 billion Chinese people who will never know Cara Dune as...
And you know what? It's totally fine.
I mean, cue the Thanos meme of they'll never know and they'll be better off for it.
She really
But here's the other thing about Disney Plus as a streaming service. It's a streaming service. And Netflix does this all the time. They geo-block. They alter their available titles depending on what country you're watching it in. So, I mean, the sad truth is any title China doesn't like, Disney can remove from its Chinese version without having to take down the entire platform. They could even, and this is really creepy, they can re-edit it. We recently saw on The Mandalorian how they just kind of discreetly updated the episode to remove Jean's guy. They can do this and no one will be none the wiser. They can upload different versions of WandaVision episodes that just remove any mention of Mephisto from them.
That's the benefit of Disney Plus. They're more they can just do more stuff with it. They were like, all right, well,
they're flexible.
They said this line that would offend China, the Chinese government. We can just take that out and just say something more Chinese friendly.
Exactly.
Easier for Disney.
And we mentioned 2022, right? Say that's when Disney Plus can launch in China. At that point, MT, think of all the Marvel titles that Disney Plus will be able to offer. Falcon Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, Ironheart. All of these will be up for Chinese subscribers to be lured in to subscribe to this thing too. WandaVision is going to be a thing of the past. So if Mephisto's in it, they could just remove WandaVision and not care moving forward.
It's very true. It's just like, all right, WandaVision happened. We don't need, you guys don't need to see this. And they can also use Marvel Legends to summarize WandaVision if WandaVision isn't available in China. To be like, all right, here's a recap, and like we took out all the devil stuff, so don't even worry about that.
Well, and a lot of you guys are like, well, isn't this going to prohibit context? Like, people won't understand what's going on. We're like, folks, this isn't just a Chinese thing. In the UK, they are not allowed to show footage of parliamentary proceedings in any kind of comedic context. So episodes of John Oliver that play in the UK, they have to completely censor out any clips that they show of the British Parliament in debate because it's a comedic show and John Oliver is about to make fun of it. They do this all the time on all kinds of streaming services.
What? That's so wild. But it's like, wow. Okay. All right. Okay, UK.
It's an interesting world out there. And it's a very big world. And no matter what, MT, I think at the end of the day, Disney Plus clearly is not worried about the devil or demons being on their platform because demons are everywhere on Disney Plus.
What a scary thing to say. They're everywhere.
You can go on Disney Plus right now and find these titles that promote witchcraft and satanic elements. First off, WandaVision, a show about Scarlet Witch, Agnes, the Agatha Harkness. Yep, that's one. But also Hocus Pocus. This movie deals not just with witches, it's a PG movie that deals with some pretty dark shit. Salem is featured in there. I believe the devil is kind of mentioned or joked about. He's there. Escape from Witch Mountain.
The whole mountain
has a witch in it.
The whole mountain
of witches. Nightmare Before Christmas. Nightmare Before Christmas is a creepy thing that deals with supernatural elements, superstition, deals with, all kinds of stuff like that. And then Fantasia, Night on Bald Mountain, has, to me, one of the most terrified I've ever been of Satan as a child watching Fantasia.
Legit terrifying.
Folding out his wings.
Oh man, I love Fantasia so
That
much.
is going to be more devilish than Mephisto is, probably. And then Marvel already is doing all kinds of stuff that would probably rattle the Chinese film board. Avengers Endgame featured Joe Russo playing a gay character. Spider-Man Far From Home features a trans character. WandaVision Episode 6, Pietro mentions Shangri-La, which is famously a reference to a Tibetan refuge.
Oh.
So if Tibet can be in WandaVision, Mephisto can be in WandaVision, folks. Now, I'm not saying this means he will be. By the time you're watching this, it's going to be like, look at this idiot who still thinks Mephisto is going to be in there. He might not be. I'm just saying he can be in the MCU. He can be on Disney Plus. Oh, and we should say, more specifically, Mephisto does already technically exist in the MCU outside of WandaVision. Like I pointed out how Mephisto's name appears on a S.H.I.E.L.D. paperwork file in the first Avengers movie. You can see the name Mephisto written there. And in Loki, it looks like Mephisto's on some stained glass in one of the shots in the trailer. So in summary, MT, China obviously matters a lot to Hollywood. But if Kevin Feige wants to put something in one of his titles, he's going to do it.
He's going to do it.
And on streaming services, Hollywood can still really do whatever it wants without having to even think about China. So if Mephisto is not in WandaVision, totally possible, he might not be there. But if he's not, it's not China's fault. But if he is in WandaVision, China's not going to care, because if they do, it's an easy fix.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. If Mephisto's in it, everyone's going to know. Okay, and Mephisto is probably in it. I mean, Erik's been a big Mephisto advocate, so,
Very
Erik,
big.
He knows his shit. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm looking at evidence, but the evidence is pointing in a lot of directions. And hey, the good news is hopefully these streaming services will eventually come out in China because they'll open up all those audiences to new ideas and contradict some thinking they had before. And hopefully the world will all be, will change and become under the Disney umbrella, right? That's what we're...
Disney will own the world one day. We'll all be Disney characters, technically.
All right, before we move on to some questions that MT is going to answer for us, we want to thank some people who helped us make this episode, our friends at Mint Mobile. So saving money should be at the top of everyone's resolution list. And if you're still paying insane amounts of money every month for wireless, what are you doing? As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you maximize your savings with plans starting at just $15 a month. Philip switched to Mint Mobile. He loves it. And he saves more than $20 a month from his old plan that he gets to use a 5G network. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. If you're not 100% satisfied, Mint Mobile has a 7-day money-back guarantee, so switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just 15 bucks a month. And to get it shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/bigq. That's mintmobile.com/bigq. Cut your wireless bill to 15 bucks a month at mintmobile.com/bigq. And we want to thank our friends at Imperfect Foods for sponsoring this video. So every year, billions of pounds of food go to waste, and it's often because it doesn't live up to some strict cosmetic standards of grocery stores. Now there's a way to prevent all that waste. Imperfect Foods is on a mission to reimagine grocery delivery for a kinder, less wasteful world. They deliver sustainable, affordable groceries, including produce, quality protein, eggs, and dairy, and pantry staples right to your door. Plus, they are always adding fun and tasty new discoveries for you to try each week. All you have to do is sign up, create your flexible, personalized grocery plan, and then shop online each week and get affordable and sustainable groceries delivered right to your door. With Imperfect Foods, grocery shopping fits seamlessly into your life, and every week is a tasty adventure. Sign up with Imperfect Foods today to save time, save money, and save food from going to waste. And right now, Imperfect Foods is offering our viewers 20% off plus free shipping on your first order when you go to imperfectfoods.com, and make sure to use the promo code BIGQUESTION. Try Imperfect Foods now, and for your first order, go to imperfectfoods.com and use Big Question to sign up. That's 20% off plus free shipping at imperfectfoods.com. Offer code BIGQUESTION. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to some bite-sized question that MT is gonna answer for us. MT, you ready for this?
Yes, let's do it. I'm all prepared. I'm mentally and physically ready for this challenge, for these questions. Let's do it.
All right, so Kits4114 on Discord asks, how was Thanos able to pluck the Mind Stone from out of Vision's head if Vision is made of vibranium and is able to make himself more dense?
Well, that is a fantastic question, my friend. And, well, we have to look back at the beginning of Avengers Infinity War when, you know, Wanda and Vision, they're doing their little, you know, secret romance. Well, we won't tell. But they're having their secret romantic getaway. And Vision's like, all right, I guess I should go. And he gets stabbed in the back by Corvus Glaive, one of the members of Thanos' Black Order. And Corvus Glaive has a weapon called the Glaive. And that glaive,
the glaive,
a glaive. He's a very, you know,
Corvus's glaive.
He keeps it. It's all brand synergy, really. So he has this Corvus glaive that is capable of splitting, even like cutting through atoms. So he was able to stab Vision and mess up his whole like his whole robotic systems were not optimal. So I feel like it was easily able for Thanos to pluck that gem out because he was unable to dense himself up. He couldn't get hard. He needed a blue chew. All right, he didn't have his blue chew. I'm so sorry. I know this isn't a blue chew commercial.
Hey, now we can try to get some money out of blue chew for this episode. Great. Yes. No, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but for sure, Vision was totally glitching in that Scotland train station when they were bringing him back to Avengers HQ when they brought him to Wakanda. Like he was not in good shape. He was not at 100%. So I think had Corvus not attacked him, I think Vision would have been in better shape to avoid Thanos plucking that stone out of his head. But I mean, Thanos also had the Power Stone too, right? I feel like he would have been able to bypass that.
He literally had every other stone, so he would have been fine.
Yeah, isn't it sad though? Like Thanos didn't even need to use the stone. Like that's how weak Vision was at the end.
He wasn't in good shape. He just died earlier, like seconds before. And it was like, whoa, what is going on?
I know. And now in WandaVision, he's like dying again and again and again. They love to kill off this guy.
What is this? What is this? What is my life?
I mean, hey, he's a good dude, and nice guys finish last. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what I'm saying. That's a weird thing to say. That's not true. Nice guys finish last. All right. Anyway, moving on.
Hey, Tony Stark became a nice guy and he died.
It's true. He should have just stayed an asshole. He was perfectly fine, just being a jerk. He was getting laid every day. He was just like, hey, what is your name? I don't know.
It's Cap who decides to be selfish and want to get with his honey that allows him to survive, right? I think that's the lesson I learned from Endgame.
Okay, now cue the music and that star thing.
All right, we got another question from Rev on Discord. Oh, by the way, like we have a wonderful Discord community that you can join by becoming a patron at patreon.com/newrockstars. That's where we go to find all these great questions for Big Question. These people are thinking the way we're thinking. They find stuff in WandaVision as we find stuff in WandaVision. It's so cool to be able to jump on there. So yeah, patreon.com/newrockstars is how you get our access to our Discord. Anyway, Rev on Discord asks, why does the X-Men Quicksilver use headphones to run to? do, wouldn't he hear like a single note in the time it takes him to do anything? That's such a good question.
That is such a good, like a fantastic question. I never really thought about it. But when I did think about it, I was like, wait a minute, it makes perfect sense. This dude could just speed up the music. 100% probably just speeds up the music, makes it like run really fast. So when he's running fast, it's like, oh, sweet dreams are made of me. And like it just slows down. So it's he knows what he's doing.
So his Walkman in the 70s, was that even a Walkman? What do you have? Was that a Betamax that you're using in the 70s? I can't remember.
I think it was called the Crawl.
Betamax isn't for audio music. Everyone's like, shut up, Eric. Just stop talking.
I mean, hey. Maybe
can it speed up to the speed he was running? It must, because otherwise you're right. The sound comes from like air, right? Yeah. The air striking your ear cords.
Listen, this isn't a sound ear show, all right? We're not ear professionals, okay?
It's not?
Just take our word for it. He sped it up. Don't think about it.
No, that's the new lesson we're teaching on Big Question. Just don't think about it.
Don't question it. Everything we say is 100% true and factual. We're right all the time. That's
Do you think
true.
like with the advent of digital music technology, Quicksilver would be able to run even faster because he could speed it up by like 10,000 times the normal speed?
Honestly, I mean, like that's why they invented, the speed things on YouTube and Netflix. It's like, Quicksilver's probably watching.
Quicksilver's watching. We get some speedsters
for our pal Pietro.
That sounds good to me. All right, we got one more question from Discord friend Joe Forever, who asks, is Ego confirmed to be a real Celestial, or did he only use that word because he was full of himself?
Well, first of all, obviously very full of himself. He called himself Ego. I mean, that's all we really need to know. But it has been confirmed that Ego is a Celestial because James Gunn, I stalk James Gunn on Twitter every day. So I've seen him verify that Ego is a celestial being. And of course, obviously, in Guardians 1, Peter Quill was able to hold an Infinity Stone without turning into dust, which is a massive, massive thing. A normal person cannot wield an Infinity Stone. So he had to be a Celestial because I know my ass will be turning into dust if I touch that for like half of a second. I'm a weak man. My bones don't have the calcium for an Infinity Stone.
He needs some milk.
Take that Blue Chew. That Blue Chew gives you all other kinds of benefits. Just makes you stronger.
That's what it was.
Infinity Stones.
Peter took his Blue Chew before fighting Ronan. He's just like, you know what? Gotta be ready. You never know. Because I'm about to dance. And when I dance, I usually get laid after. So I gotta take this Blue Chew before this dance back. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm so sorry.
No, I think, based on that point you brought up alone, I think as if he's not a Celestial, then James Gunn's got to come up with another answer for why Peter Quill could hold that Power Stone. I do hope that the Eternals movie clarifies, what exactly Celestials are and what their form is. Ego did start as that brain floating in space. Yeah. But, I hope that part of his history was that he was in one of those giant armored forms, because I want to see that as a Celestial.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if Eternals doesn't cover the Celestials, that would be very, very shocking.
It's then why do an Eternals movie?
Yeah, it would, the Eternal. I feel like the Eternals is going to set up a lot of the Marvel stuff moving forward, especially with how Kamala is probably going to get her powers, because I don't think we're going to do Inhumans at all. I think that Marvel's moving away from Terrigenesis and probably going the route of how, Carol and Wanda and Pietro got their powers using, these Infinity Stone type cosmic energy or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we're going to see Terrigen Mist or anything.
Oh, yeah. No.
Sorry if you love Inhumans. I just feel like I don't see them bringing that in there anytime soon.
Scott bucked up too hard for Inhumans to be popular, unfortunately.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Remember, that was going to be a movie. That was going to be a Phase 3 movie.
I was so looking forward to it, and they just dropped the ball in every way possible.
So we're going to get a basketball and drop it from 140 meters up.
Well, we have time for one final...
Tony Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Box of scraps question. And this comes from returning big question asker, actually sauceless from Discord, who asks, what is your most pleasant memory from the last year living at home? Oh, that's a nice question.
That is a really good question. I don't know. I just like slowly rekindling my love for comics and just like reading, like having more time to just read more and just like for fun and like not just for like creating YouTube stuff. And like, it's just been really cool. Just like, I don't know, just reread. I'm reading a lot of Fantastic Four and I've been reading a lot of obviously Scarlet Witch. So like having to like have that free time to like, you know, slow things down and like with the world slowing down and just, all right, I'm just going to read my comics while chaos reigns around me. And it's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. It's nice just to be able to have an excuse just to like binge all kinds of content. These comics are just shows that you never got around to watching. This is like the perfect time to be able to do it. I say we're getting close. I'm glad WandaVision's here though, because like I was getting to the point where I'm like, I am out of stuff.
Yeah.
I've not watched everything. Shit.
Yeah, WandaVision was a godsend. I freaking love that we have like it every week. It's like going to a movie premiere every week and like talking about it. It's really awesome.
For real. Yeah, absolutely. For me, well, it's got to be getting engaged. I
congrats, dude. Sorry, when I saw that, I was so happy for you. Congrats, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I proposed to my girlfriend Kelly in November, and it was really just the overall process of this because like. She works at Pixar, so we were doing a long distance thing at the start of 2020. She's up in the Bay Area, I was in LA, and then you know everything shut down, and we were working from home. So she temporarily moved back down here. So I was kind of like, well, like there's no move that's going to happen anytime soon. I just need to do this. I need to lock this one down. But it was so hard when you are trying to surprise your partner when you're both working from home. It's impossible. To do anything. Ring shopping was so hard because anytime I'm on a phone call, I had to like go try to find like a soundproof room in our apartment. And eventually she even knocked on the door. She's like, who are you talking to? I was like, no one. It's a phone sex line. Leave me alone.
It's like, I'm cheating on you. Go away.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, man, I had to like justify going downtown to shop for this ring. I had to be like, oh, I'm stuck in traffic. I'm running this work errand. I'm going over to off-screen producer Zach's house or John's house to drop off this footage drive. And, you know, they're going through a lot of issues. So they really needed a heart-to-heart. And Kelly's like, oh, I hope Zach's okay. No, Zach's fine. I just used him as like an excuse.
Hey, it's good lying. It's lying for a good reason.
It was great. I'm sure he would have happily been my alibi there. And then when I eventually popped the question, I had kind of wanted to go do somewhere, but it was right when numbers really started to go up in Los Angeles. And I'm like, well, I don't want to go to like Santa Monica Pier or whatever. We can't go out to a restaurant. All the restaurants were shut down. So I went up on our rooftop and I had this whole thing that I did to kind of get her to go up there. You know, it was such a nice thing. And, you know, both of us were crying. We called our parents. We celebrated with like champagne and steak. It was awesome.
Champagne and steak, that's delicious. Sorry.
Yeah. It was the highlight of it. That was my reward. But like it was tough because like we kept seeing all these photos of other people we know who are like, hey, we popped the question like over the holidays, and they're like in some crowded space or like with a ton of people, or I'm like, it made me so mad that like we couldn't go do something somewhere. But you know, the way it went for us was just perfect. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It was awesome.
Hey man, congratulations. Holy matrimony, dude. You're doing it.
We're doing it. Dude, we don't know when we'll get married. I mean, we're not gonna get married during COVID, so maybe 2022, hopefully.
Hey man, time is relative when it comes to love, bro. As long as you guys love each other,
it's great.
It doesn't matter when you get married. I mean, obviously, I would like you guys to get married as soon as possible because obviously you guys want to get married. However, love is timeless, Eric. You just don't even worry about it. Just love each other.
It really is.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I got a good thing here. But like, hey, you know, for everyone watching out there, I'm not going to do the whole thing of like the one for you is out there, but There could be someone out there for you if you want, but you don't have to have someone out there for you. If you're going through a breakup right now and hearing my story of my life bums you out, you don't have to compare your life to mine. Everyone is where they need to be right now, and it'll take you to where you need to go.
Amen. That was a good lesson. I like that. I mean, coming from me, who was single as during Valentine's Day, it really helped me feel better about my forever alone situation. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no.
Hey,
that was really
something
good.
to keep in mind. Valentine's Day, bunch of bullshit. What we did for Valentine's Day, we made spaghetti and I got her flowers, and that's it. We didn't do anything. We just sat around and we watched Modern Family reruns, and it was awesome. It's exactly what we wanted. So Valentine's Day is a bunch of bullshit. You don't need to do it, and just everyone accept that right now.
I mean, spaghetti is the most romantic food of all, as we can tell from Lady and the Tramp.
Not available in China on Disney Plus.
Really? Does Xi Jinping look like the Tramp? Why is it not in China?
He took offense.
No dogs in China. Banned.
Yeah. Well, that is it for this episode of The Big Question. MT, it has been awesome chatting with you about all things Marvel. I've really enjoyed doing this. I hope we get to do this again soon.
I'm totally down.
Oh, I should have mentioned this earlier. I am wearing our custom New Rockstars An Unusual Couple shirt. It's our latest Obsession shirt. You can go find it at our merch store, newrockstarsmerch.com. It supports this channel directly. It's great. And if you get one of these, you can write in a custom shout out for our Inside Marvel after shows that appear at the bottom. So yeah, it's a super awesome shirt. So get your hands on this. Make sure to follow MT on Twitter everywhere at MasterTainment.
At MasterTainment on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, literally everywhere. It's everywhere. It's where I tweet or post random things. So if you like random nonsense.
Yes, and like his random things, watch his videos, share his videos. You won't be disappointed. They're so funny, so informative, so well done. So check him out everywhere. Follow me at EA Voss, follow New Rockstars, send us your big questions using the hashtag big question. Really, you're going to want to jump on Patreon if you want this question in the show. That's where we get all of them. And subscribe to New Rockstars here on YouTube. Hit that notification bell. Oh, and another quick shout out to our friends at Stereo. This is the app we've been working with that lets users listen in, seek out topics, join conversations about issues and ideas that interest them. Comedy, pop culture, sports, Marvel stuff. Stereo can be downloaded for free by Apple and Android users. Once you download the app, you can create an avatar and profile and start going live yourself. We host these podcasts there, but they're live so that you can submit audio voicemails to us that will play on the shows, react to them in real time. It's great. We do 3 shows a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Just go to stereo.com/newrockstars to get all the details and get notified when we're going live. Again, that's stereo.com/newrockstars. MT, thank you. And for everyone else, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Take it easy, everybody.